Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and today, despite the fact that we've reached 10,000 views, no, this isn't a special, but rather an update to the special. But for now, today we are going to present some North Korean banknotes, but specifically speaking, the 100 won notes, from the second to the third North Korean won. We are excluding the first one and the exchange certificates, because they're hard to acquire and let's just say it's not cheap. But nevertheless, we are going to start. Yes, quite right. And what I want to show you here today is 3 different 101 notes from North Korea. So specifically speaking, I am going to show you the second one and the third one. Yes, quite right. And to start off, we are going to look at the second one, 1978 issue, 101. That's right. And today, we present, or rather, I present to you this note. Yes, quite right. So this is a note made from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Here we have the founder of this nation, Kim Il-sung, being surrounded by a floral wreath. Here we see the date here, 1978, 100, as well as the serial number here, as well as the Korean script for the name of the country. Now that's the observe of the note. The reverse of the note shows Kim Il-sung's birthplace, as well as the denomination written in Korean, which is 100. Now, his birthplace, as we speak here, is Myeongdae-gusyeong. I am going to be wrong about this, aren't I? But nevertheless, it is still a quite splendid note. The note is colored in a wide range of pink. Yes, pink. The color, the theme of this note. Let's take a final look at this note, shall we? Now you will notice that this was the highest denomination in the 1978 issue, and that's very interesting because we're going to carry on and look at the other Hunger Won notes. But for now, this note is quite big, so let's just use that as a reference for now. The second note, which I'm going to show you, is the 1992 series of the 100 won note. Now, bear in mind, this is no longer by then the highest denomination. This is the 4th highest denomination, but it still features Kim Il-sung's portrait. And here we are. Over here we see Kim Il-sung in a Western suit instead of the traditional North Korean suit or a mouse suit as he has worn. Here we see the Korean number, well, the Korean script for 100, the black serial number, and a red serial number. So this is just one of the many types that were issued. So I believe this is a type A, I think, but I'm not too sure myself. Here we see Kim Il-sung, again being shown in a floral wreath, although smaller this time. The album of the DPRK, Hunger Won, and the Korean script for the name, as well as 1992. Now this is the observe of the note, and now we are going to look at the reverse. Over here we see a more detailed version of Kim Il-sung's birthplace, which is Myeongdae-gusyeong. And this, you can't see it, but there's actually a watermark here in this location. I should just point this out to you. That's actually the Arc of Triumph, the North Korean Arc of Triumph, celebrating the liberation of Korea from Japan. Yes, you can't see it, but it's existent there. Again, note's theme is a slight pink, but I could be wrong because it looks has a hint of red and brown. Yes, but that has a final look here. As you observe, and this is the reverse. Quite right. Now, you will note that this note is actually slightly smaller than the other 100 won note that I've shown you, and that's very important and fascinating. However, we don't stop there, because this is the final 100 won note that I shall show for today, and this is the third one. This is the third one, yes, and it is the 2009 series. Quite right. Of course, it says that it's dated 2008, but really, it was issued in 2009. My best guess is that it was printed before the redenomination, because this is a new one, third one. But don't believe what it says, it is printed during the duration of 2009. But this note's also very special. Over here we see a different design. No longer does it show Kim Il-sung's portrait, but rather it shows some flowers. The national flower of North Korea, the Siebold's magnolia. Here we see a black serial number, the date as well as the Juche year of 97, the name of the country in Korean script, and the red serial number. Now you'll notice there's a overprint here. That's actually celebrating the 100th anniversary of Kim Il-sung's birth. It was printed on every note in 2012. Now at the back, it's very boring. We see the reverse of the 100 won note. Very plain. It's just one big 100 there. Korean script of the value and the name of the country, as well as a watermark, which is actually the same magnolia flower that we see on the observe of the banknote. One last look, observe, and the reverse of the note. Now, earlier on, I did say something about the size and why it was interesting. Well, let's have a look here, because I think this is simply very fascinating. And as we shall see here, we're going to compare the sizes of the notes to each other. Now bear in mind with me, this will take a moment, but as you can see, this will be a very interesting pattern. And I should also hint out that the 100 won note in the 2009 series, third one, is the fourth largest denomination, as I said again. But the difference is, Kim Il-sung's portrait is not there. And here we are. Behold, the sizes of the notes. They're actually very different. It's like each note gets smaller. But I think the reason why it's interesting is because the size of the notes represents the value of these notes in terms of the exchange rate. Like for instance, back then, the 100 won note in 1978, the reason why it was so big was because it had a very good value back then. It could afford most things, and being the only largest denomination kind of represent the spending power at the time. But then as you go along, the new 100 won note from 1992, well, it just kind of got smaller. Maybe this was because the rate of value for the North Korean won starting to decrease. So I think it seemed more plausible to perhaps print smaller notes, because it just costs less. And then you finally have the 100 won note of the new North Korean won, which is the third one of 2009 series. Quite small. But then if you look at the exchange rate, it looks very plausible because, well, let's face it, this new 100 won note is basically worth like $1 at most. I think, I'm not too sure. But being so small and being so valueless at this point, it makes sense to print a note that small. It just does. Because, well, let's face it, you're not going to print a very large note that has very little value. I mean, it doesn't make sense. You just reserve for the higher valued notes. But that is my theory, which may or may not be wrong. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoy. And for an update, very special. I'm not sure what to make. I'm not sure what to do. But I can be certain I will try not to be boring. I hope. Nevertheless, that is all. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have learned something today. Thank you, and good night.